easier way to vote.
Tennis pro back in court. I'm Chelsea Birdsall.
And I'm Samantha Ruff with your Public Eye News. Officers in Gogebic County are investigating the death of a resident from Ironwood Township. Craig Fox, 25, according to the sheriff's office, suffered from fatal injuries after he was trapped under his vehicle along the shoulder of US 2 in Watersmeet Township. At the scene, deputies were assisted by Michigan State Police, Lockview Tribal Police, Watersmeet First Responders, Marinesco, and Beacon ambulances. A suspect has been arraigned for a stabbing that happened at a camp in Felch Township on Sunday. Aaron Ray Hodges, 44, of Iron Mountain, has been charged with attempted murder and has also been charged as a 2-time habitual offender. He will have a preliminary exam in Dickinson County District Court on October 29th.
According to police, a 22-year-old was found in a car crash on a Detroit highway freeway, still holding his cell phone. South Rockwood resident Joe Ryan Contreras drove into the back of a semi-truck going north on I-75 in Brownston Township in Wayne County. Preliminary investigations give the police no idea why Contreras drove into the back of the truck, but skid marks were not found at the scene. The crash is still currently under investigation. After an appeals court threw out a former tennis pro's conviction for forced child labor, he is now being ushered back to Detroit federal court. Jean-Claude Toviev is facing a sentence of fraud and immigration crimes. In 2006, Toviev assisted 4 children out of his home country of Togo with fraudulent papers. The children said that they were beaten for not vacuuming, ironing, cooking, or cleaning. An appeals court ruled that the actions against the children were not a crime, just reprehensible. Toviev, who has been in prison for 3 years now, is facing another 5 years for the remaining convictions.
In just a few weeks, a judge says he will make the decision regarding Detroit's plan to get out of bankruptcy. Stephen Rhodes says he will be announcing it towards the end of November, informing the attorneys of this during a brief hearing yesterday. Rhodes still needs to hear from Marty Kopax, who is a court-appointed financial expert. Kopax will testify this week, and closing arguments will begin October 27th. Detroit needs to convince Rhodes that the plan is fair to creditors and will work in the long run. Recently, Detroit has reached deals with bond insurers, which were urging the city to sell art to raise money. Voters in Wisconsin are hoping to avoid lines on Election Day and can now do so by casting their ballots early. Clerks across Wisconsin will be accepting the ballots beginning Monday, and the early morning voting will end October 31st. You will not need to show your ID to vote due to the Supreme Court blocking that requirement for the November 4th election. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Next time on Finding Your Roots, for chefs Tom Colicchio, Ming Tsai, and Aaron Sanchez, genealogy is the perfect recipe of food and family.
I need to unearth food from this region. Maybe that will unlock a key as to what I do.
Every Friday night was dinner at the grandparents. Both were great cooks.
My grandmother's recipes, I'm still cooking those recipes to this day.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. The trial of the Boston Marathon bombing suspect Jahar Sarniev is rallying 1,000 people as potential jury members. According to prosecutors, Jahar and his brother Tamerlan planted 2 bombs near the finish line. Tamerlan was killed in the police shootout, but Jahar Sarniev is being held for the attack that killed 3 people and injured over 260 in April of 2013. Sarniev has pleaded not guilty, but will face a death penalty if convicted. Out of the 1,000 summoned for jury, 100 will move on to individual questioning to decide the 12 jurors and 6 alternates that will be picked for the trial. Selection will begin January 5th. This morning in Central California, no one knows who to thank. John Blackstone looks at how a shy hero risked his life to rescue someone from a burning home in Fresno.
There's a man in there, she said. We gotta get the dad out of there!
An elderly man, reportedly on a respirator, was inside his Fresno, California home Saturday morning when this huge fire broke out.
The fire was fully engulfed, flames, huge flames coming out of the roof, before the fire department even arrived.
Beth Lederock had no idea of the drama that would unfold when she stopped her car to record the scene on her cell phone.
I do remember this man in a blue cap just very calmly walking toward where the house was, where the fire was, and just very calmly starts walking back there, and I just kept filming, and the next thing you know, here he is coming back out carrying this man.
Oh, thank God!
The rescued man, 73-year-old Robert Wells, suffered nothing more serious than smoke inhalation. No one on the scene knew where his rescuer came from, and he seemed to slip away almost as quickly and mysteriously as he arrived.
I don't know whether he was somebody that just stopped because this is a busy street. Some people do heroic things and they just walk away. They don't want any recognition. They don't want anyone to know their name, and that's good too.
Apparently, sometimes a good deed is its own reward. For CBS This Morning, John Blackstone, San Francisco.
The Shiite cleric is now giving support to the government battling the Islamic State group. Deadly attacks have killed more than 40 people just today. The country's prime minister met with the top Shiite cleric. After the talks at Grand Ali al-Husani al-Sistani welcomed the recent formation of the government that Haider al-Abadi now leads. The meeting contained symbolic significance because politicians have been shunned in recent years to protest how to run the country. The more than 40 attacks killed dozens in Baghdad and the Shiite holy city of Karbala. Searchers this weekend discovered the remains of a body believed to be missing University of Virginia student. Craig Boswell has the latest on the disappearance of Hannah Graham from Washington, D.C.
Police will spend another day looking for evidence in the heavily wooded area in rural Virginia where they found human remains over the weekend. Authorities believe the body could be Hannah Graham, the 18-year-old University of Virginia student missing for more than a month. A pair of dark, tight pants, like those Graham was wearing the night she disappeared, were found near the body. Sergeant Dale Terry led the team that made the discovery.
I don't know how else to explain it other than something just inside me told me just continue to look. I do believe God wanted us to find what we found.
Graham was last seen in the early morning hours of September 13th. Surveillance video captured her with 32-year-old Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr. Police tracked him down in Galveston, Texas, and charged him with Graham's abduction. Police say they also have evidence linking Matthew to the 2009 murder of Virginia Tech student Morgan Harrington. Harrington's body was located about 5 miles from the remains found Saturday. Harrington's father says he hopes the discovery will bring peace to the Graham family.
Not knowing for the 3 months was worse than knowing that Morgan was dead.
The results of forensic tests confirming the identity of the remains are expected in the coming days. Craig Boswell, CBS News.
The Orionid meteor shower, the most prolific meteor shower in association with Halley's Comet, will appear this week. The shower will last around 1 week and has the potential to show 57 meteors per hour. While meteors are normally faint and fast, the shower will appear while the moon is in its crescent phase and the meteors will not be washed out. Between midnight and dawn, away from the city lights, is the prime time to grab a seat and watch the shower overhead. This year's shower is expected to peak on the morning of October 21st, giving a grace period of potential meteors the day before and the day after. According to Texas health officials, 120 people are still being held for possible Ebola contamination after being in contact with one of the 3 infected patients in Dallas. As of today, 43 of the 48 original watch-listed people passed the 21-day incubation period. The others who were in contact with the Liberian man who died on October 8th remain at risk. The incubation period will end on November 7th for those still being monitored. Health officials also released that federal officials gave the nurse the okay to fly the day before she was diagnosed with Ebola. And after the break, we'll have your weather and sports.
On the next Makers.
Women have been involved in war since the beginning of this nation.
Women fight for their right to protect.
Women have the same calling to securing their nation as men.
And serve their country.
Let's go! I developed my expertise at the CIA on nuclear counterproliferation. Women have a really important role to play in national security.
Makers, Women in War.
Join us Tuesday evening at 9.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Samantha Cretens here with your weather. If you look behind me at the NMU Academic Mall, you'll see it's actually a pretty cloudy day outside, a little windy, but however it's warmer than usual, I would get out there if you can. Currently it's cloudy with a temperature of 46 degrees with winds from the north at 18 miles an hour and a barometric pressure of 29.86 inches and holding. And tonight we'll see cloudy outside with a high of 39 degrees and winds from the north at 15 miles an hour. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 45 degrees, winds from the north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Looking around the area, we'll see we'll have a very cloudy UP. In Sault Ste. Marie, it's 48 with a little bit of rain, 47 in Manistee, 48 in Escanaba, 52 in Menominee, 47 in Iron Mountain, 48 with a little bit of sun peeking out in Ironwood, 45 in Houghton, and back here in Marquette, it is 46 degrees and cloudy. Looking ahead at the next couple of days, we will see on Wednesday a high of 53 degrees and a low of 36 and some sun. On Thursday, a high of 54, a low of 44 and partly cloudy. And on Friday, a high of 57, a low of 49 and partly cloudy as well. So it's been a little cloudy around the UP, I can see, but I see it's kind of sunny for Peyton Manning, isn't it?
Definitely. History was made yesterday in Denver as the Broncos defeated the San Francisco 49ers. Peyton Manning threw 4 touchdowns in the game, giving him the most career touchdown passes by any player in the NFL. Manning entered the game only 2 touchdowns shy of Brett Favre's record of 508 and threw 4 touchdown passes in the game yesterday, giving him a current total of 510. Last night, Brett Favre sent a tweet congratulating Manning, telling him that it was well-deserved. Manning said that he is humbled and grateful for all of his teammates and coaches he has had throughout his career in Indianapolis and Denver. The Broncos are now 5-1 on the season, and their next game will be against the San Diego Chargers at Mile High Stadium in Denver this Thursday night. In college football, the Northern Michigan Wildcats got their second win of the season during Family Weekend and Band Day. During yet another close matchup, the Wildcats beat the St. Wayne State Warriors 33-30 at the Marquette Superior Dome. The Wildcats were led by sophomore quarterback Shea Brown, who threw for a career-high 346 yards, completing nearly 70% of his passes. Marcus Tucker led NMU on the receiving end with 6 grabs for 114 yards. Austin Young averaged nearly 12 yards per reception, along with taking a punt return all the way back for a 66-yard touchdown. The Wildcats look to take their momentum against Ashland this Saturday. The Detroit Lions defended their den yesterday with a 24-23 home victory over the visiting New Orleans Saints. After trailing nearly the entire game, the Lions took the lead with a 5-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford to Corey Fuller with under 2 minutes left in the game. Fuller displayed tremendous athleticism during the catch, making a remarkable leap in the back of the end zone and keeping his feet in bounds. Golden Tate picked up the slack for the Lions' injured number 1 receiver Calvin Johnson with 10 receptions for 154 yards and a touchdown. Both receptions and yards for a game were career highs for Tate. With their win yesterday, the Lions are now 5-2 and remain in first place of the NFC North Division. The Lions will make their way overseas next week as they take on the Atlanta Falcons at Wembley Stadium in London on Sunday.
Sometimes I think it'd be really cool to be a football player. I mean, they get to travel all over the place, especially with them going to London.
And those games seem to be going over really well, the ones overseas. They seem to really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
It's a win-win.
It's definitely a win-win.
That's all the time we're going to have you here at Public Eye News. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.